Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. It really all depends on what side of the world you're coming in from, considering this is your most favorite international trade room where we've learned how to take pips out of the market using the football strategy. But today, we have another strategy that we were going to be going over today. It's called the left shoulder right entry. So if you are brand new to ChartFlix, welcome. And if you're watching this live on the replay, if you're watching this YouTube or whatever it may be, please stay towards the end as we are going to give you all the information that is needed. This session is being recorded for YouTube, and this free class is being brought to you by none other than ChartFlix, where where we teach our subscribers how to be profitable and consistent in forex and binary. Okay, and we have a very personal mentorship that we use. Now, we must give you a disclaimer because that's what the law tells us to do. We don't make any promises and we don't make any guarantees, but we do trade high probabilities. No one should ever trade with money that they cannot afford to lose. If you're on your cell phone, do yourself a favor, turn it sideways so you can get a clear view of what it is that we will be showing you on tonight or this morning. Now, I want to take this time for you guys to go to the chat, and I want you to share this link with any trade group that you're in, with any friends that you may know on your Facebook. I'm going to put it in the chat. I want to invite as many people on this call tonight as possible because what I'm about to reveal to you live and in action is going to take your trading to the next level, okay, with pending orders. So do me a favor, go to the chat right now, copy and paste the link, and just start sharing it on your social media. Share it on Facebook, on Instagram, on Twitter. If you're in a Telegram group and you want to give somebody a look at what you're about to take a look at, send it there now as we're getting ready to proceed to that, okay? And so I'll go ahead and move swiftly now that you guys have that. And we'll be good to go. Okay. And so what we're going to do is let you know that we have class every Sunday night. ChartFlix. We have class every Sunday night at 8:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That's right now. And then every Tuesday morning we have class at 8:30 a.m. Um, Eastern Time. And we also have a free look Friday that I do. It's a free trading class I do every Friday for people who want to get introduced to trading, who want to find a better way to trade. This is what we do. And every first Wednesday, my co-educators, they do a Wednesday teacup strategy. They do the GBP breakout. And every first Saturday, we do a mastermind class as well. So this is what our traders have been taking advantage of, this type of scheduling. And I like the scheduling because it's not too much. Most people want to be every day, every day, every day. People need time to be away from the charts. So that's why we only have about 9 classes a month, but they are high impact classes. Okay. And again, every Friday we do a free class. Okay. Now, what I want to do just before we go any further, I want to give you an opportunity because I don't know again where you're coming from. I want to give you an opportunity to join my free signals group and to join my free Telegram as well. So in the chat, I'm about to put my website. That's chartflix.net. You can go there and get some free education. And I also put a free Telegram group where we drop trade ideas as well. And if you need to ask me a question about trading, even though you're not a subscriber, I just love helping people. So this is a way for you to go ahead and get connected in the Telegram group where you can always reach me if you need a mentor. Okay. So I just dropped that in the chat and I will be dropping it later as well. Okay. So today, here's what we're going to go over. And if you're watching this in the replay, I'm sorry, by now we hadn't got to the strategy, but I do have a live class in front of me. We're going to go over our ChartFlix signals. We're going to go over trade management. And then we're going to go over the traditional head and shoulders pattern. And then last but not least, we're going to do the new strategy, the left shoulder right entry strategy. Okay. So that will be at the end. We have to do the head and shoulder pattern first so you can see why this is going to be so controversial. Okay. All right. So let's go ahead and move. I want to just first say thank you to all of our current subscribers that are part of ChartFlix right now. To date, we've had over 100 subscribers. about 50 active subscribers right now that we help that are their trading is increasing, they're earning while they're learning. We appreciate you, and I just want you to know that. And speaking of that, to all my subscribers, if you have not scheduled your one-on-one with me yet, please do so, as it's very important that I meet you. It's very important that I greet you. It's very important that I help you set up your chart, teach you whatever strategy you need. I really enjoy this. So please make sure you set up that one-on-one so I can help you. Okay, so ChartFlix is a trading platform where we go over Forex and binary trading. We have on-demand classes. And as a matter of fact, I'll just go and show you. This is exactly what we do. We do weekly trainings, okay, and we do on Forex and binary, and all of our classes are recorded. So we have over 6 months worth of classes that are recorded and placed on the platform. You'll have access to that. And our trade signals, they're free when you're a subscriber. We do a free one-on-one. That's what I was just telling the subscribers about. You'll have access to our 24/7 chat room as well. If you ever have a trade idea, throw it in there. Sometime if I'm available, I'll throw a Zoom link in. We'll talk about it live. But we love the interaction. We also have a lot of books that we're going to be releasing in the next coming months that we're going to put on Amazon. It's going to cost people $20 per book because it's valuable information. But as a subscriber, you're going to have access to that right away. And of course, we're very excited about ChartFlix for kids. You're gonna have access to that as well. And of course, our subscribers only pay $1.66 a day to learn the strategies that we have and learn how to be a profitable trader. So if you're interested in that, just let us know at the end of the call, okay? Now let's go and jump into our signals. Now, guys, most of you who are used to getting signals that are visitors, you're used to somebody saying buy now, sell now. Well, what happens if you're at work, or what happens if you're cooking, or what happens if you missed it? That's a lot of times why people fail with trade signals, is because the signals are market execution. Well, over here in ChartFlix, we don't do market execution. All of our trade strategies are pending orders. And a lot of people don't like pending orders, but pending orders are boss, okay? And this is an example of a screenshot of some trades that we send out on a weekly basis. And most people want to ask me, well, Marcus, how many trades do you send out? How many trades does Mr. Herbert send out? Listen, we don't know how many trades are going to sit out because we don't know what the market's going to do, but we only send out high probability trades, okay? Now, I wanted to address trade management, and I'm moving kind of fast because I want to get to this trade strategy. Our trade management is as such. We do a minimum of a 35 pip stop loss. And now I'm talking to the subscribers because I want you guys to really know this, okay? We do a 35 pip stop loss on mostly every pair except for the GBP pairs. We got to do a 50 pip stop loss, as all the GBP pairs move a lot stronger and a lot forceful than every other pair. Okay, TP1 is 20 to 25 pips. Keep that in mind. TP2, 30 to 40 pips. TP3, 50 to 75. TP4, of course, now because we have this skill set, we're able to call 100 pip trades, right? So we're very excited about that. This is what I wanted to tell you about trade management. When we send out a signal, the moment that I'm 25 pips in profit, I move my stop loss 2 pips in profit, which is more than likely going to give me at least a pip of profit, but it's going to break me even. Or and break even means if the trade comes back, we don't lose the trade. So I want you guys to keep that in mind, that when we're up 25 pips on a trade, and I send you that notification, if you didn't set your TP for 25 and you going for 50 pips, like we mostly go for 50 pips. That's mostly what we do. If you don't set it for the 25 pips, once we move 25 pips in profit, move that stop loss to break even so the trade can be risk free and have the room to breathe. And you ain't got to worry about losing any money. Okay. It was very important that we went over that today. All right. Now let's get to the traditional head and shoulders pattern. By now, I hope you've invited some guests. By now, I hope you have your pen, your paper, and you're ready to take notes, because I did the research, and the head and shoulders pattern per Google is 85% right. 85% right. But it all depends on how you use the head and shoulder patterns. That will determine your win to loss ratio. This is your traditional head and shoulders pattern. The price action goes up, it pulls down, and it goes up again, and it pulls down. Here is the most popular way to trade the head and shoulders pattern. You are to place a sell limit, the level of your left shoulder. And once the price goes back up to this level, if you have a sell limit here, the price is supposed to drop down and give you a nice move. That's the most common way that people trade the head and shoulders pattern. They place a sell limit for the right shoulder. The second way is they wait for the price to break the neckline, and then they sell on the retest and the breakout. So this is the traditional head and shoulders pattern. And I find it very strange that Google says it's 85% when I know I don't get 8 out of 10 of those trades. I get about 6 to 7 out of 10. And watch that. That is a great trading strategy. Did you know in order to be a profitable trader, you only need to be right 51% of the time and you'll still be profitable? So I would say, based on my experience, that the head and shoulder pattern, the traditional pattern, is about 60 to 70% right. Okay. And that's my personal experience. I've heard some other mentors and some other people say that it's about 70, 75%. Okay. All right. So this is your traditional head and shoulders pattern. But here's where I'm going to break the internet. Here's where YouTube needs to pay attention. I believe that the head and shoulder pattern is overrated compared to what I'm about to show you. After I go to this next slide, you're never going to trade the head and shoulders the same way ever again. Okay, so let's keep it moving because I don't even want to hold you late tonight, and YouTube don't like to watch long videos. Okay, so check this out. I have this young man here. He's a motivational speaker. He's had to learn how to go through life using one arm. Well, he is going to be the prototype to the left shoulder right entry trade strategy. I have taken, watch this, I have taken personally 17 of these trades in the last 2 weeks. Ask me how many I've lost. 4. I've lost 4 of these. I'm sorry, 3. It was 3. I'm sorry. I've lost 3 of them. And I'm getting ready to show you this strategy on the next slide. But let's just take a look here. Most people are looking at a head and shoulder pattern. They're looking at the head and shoulder pattern because, again, the price rises. I'm having to let people in. And then the price falls. And then the price, and notice I'm changing the color too, rises, and then the price falls. And then most people see that this is a left shoulder. So what they will do 70% of the time when the price rises to the length of the left shoulder, they will have a sell limit right here with the expectation. They will have a sell limit right here with the expectation that the price will fall. I'll tell you, there's been a lot of violations when it comes to the head and shoulder pattern, because typically what happens is when that price falls down here, it starts to make a double bottom. It starts to make like a W. And whenever you get a W and that price breaks that peak and it pulls back, by the time it gets to this level, it normally just keeps going to the head. I've seen it more times than not that right shoulder does not get respected. And I know this is on YouTube and you've never heard an educator, I can't believe he's going against the traditional head and shoulders pattern. I'm going to show you. I'm, I'm going to show you something. Just hold on before you click off this video, before you leave this live class. Just hold on. I know it's not traditional. I know I'm coming at you different, but let me show you this. This is the new left shoulder right entry. As it pertains to me, the left shoulder right entry is going to replace the head and shoulders pattern. I just believe that. The new way is you get your left shoulder, you get your correction. The moment the price breaks this left shoulder, I'm now going to place a sell stop, which is a pending order. I'm going to place a sell stop just below that left shoulder, because more times than not, when that price comes back to that level, guess what it does? It goes straight down, strong. And then you, with your traditional self, because that's what they taught me and that's what they taught you, you're waiting for the sale. Now we catch in ChartFlix, we catch the sale right here. And every time we catch the sale, we get at least 50 pips. Every time I've sent this trade to ChartFlix, we caught at least 50 pips. Do you know how hard it is to catch a 50 pip move in Forex? Those of you who will be honest, you know it's hard to catch 50 pips. We did it with no sweat last week, twice. And the week prior to that, I did it 11 times. Let's keep moving. You with your traditional self are waiting for the price to come back here to sell it right here. But we done already caught this sale right here. Now watch this. Here's the one thing I know they taught you in Forex. They taught you the trend is your friend. What we do when we try to sell the right shoulder, we're going against the trend. We're going against the trend. But there is a close friend of mine who was on this class right now, Brandon Arnold. Your name is getting ready to go on YouTube. People going to remember you because this video is going to be very controversial, okay? I would be sitting up here sending ChartFlix the right shoulder sell limit, and Mr. Brandon Arnold, the price would be down here, and Brandon would buy it going up. And depending on if we was in the 70 percentile, he would get the trade going up and the trade going down. Because we do have successful head and shoulder patterns. It works. But what happens now if we catch this sell and we catch this buy and we keep going? Now we have more trade ideas. So now let's proceed. These are the two trades that I sent to ChartFlix last week as it pertains to this trade strategy. But I want to mention what we're getting ready to go over. Now, if you ain't got the time, you could leave. If this video is too long for you on YouTube, I'm going to tell you right now, I'm getting ready to show the live audience 12 times last week where this strategy worked. Now, I only saw 2 of them because I'm not just a trader. I have multiple hats and stuff that I do, so I don't get every trade. But the 2 that I saw when I was doing a one-on-one with one of our subscribers, Mr. Kelton Young. This is what I sent to ChartFlix for GA. And this trade went 60 pips. Now, I caught 160 pips. Still waiting to see if it's going to move a full 200. And I called GJ. So now let's go to the charts because I can prove it to you on the charts, okay? So let's start with the GA trade. Here is the left shoulder right entry right here. When this price went up right here, let me change that color. We got to change that to the yellow. Now, here's where you need to have your pen and paper. And here's the proof. All of these trades happened last week, okay? Okay, so the price came up here and it dropped 25, 50, 75, 100, 125, 150 pips. All right, now watch this. Then the price makes a W and comes to the same zone. At this point, we do not have a head and shoulders pattern yet. We don't get a head and shoulders pattern until the price breaks and goes at least 25 pips above the previous high, which now becomes the left shoulder. So on this day, on the 21st, we now have a left shoulder and we have a forming head. So what's the next steps for you to do? Once we break a high, you need to measure and make sure that this left shoulder has dropped at least 30 pips. If you don't want to take notes, this will be on YouTube. And if you're part of ChartFlix, of course, you have this re-recording. So once the price goes up and drops down, and then the price breaks the previous high by at least 25 pips, now step two is to see, has this dropped at least 30 pips? If it's dropped at least 30 pips, now we know we got a strong left shoulder. Now look, this price go ahead and makes a head. What we did last week was we placed a sell limit, a sell stop right here. Yes, we did. The price came down, grabbed our sell limit. Because this is a GBP pair, our stop loss was all the way up here at 50 pips. So we got entered in the trade right here. I'm sorry, let me go and draw the head so you can see it. We got entered in the trade right here. It wicked up 25 pips. And that next hour, we were in profit the whole day. And then we held it to the previous day, and it dropped all the way down here. Now, I gave ChartFlix a TP of right here. So everybody in ChartFlix got out right there. I held my trade because my TP is at 182. And I believe we still may get there. At any rate, guess what your traditional self is doing? You're waiting on the price to come back up here to test the right shoulder. Everybody who trades the head and shoulder pattern, that's where their sell limit is. Meanwhile, me and ChartFlix, we caught the sell going down from the right entry, measuring the left shoulder. That's trade number one. Let's move swiftly. This is trade number two that I sent to ChartFlix. Same thing. The price came up to this level. It wicked down. Right now, we don't have a left shoulder. It makes a W. At this point, there is no left shoulder. Once the price breaks this level, the high right here, by at least 25 pips. By the way, these lines on my chart are quarter point lines. This is how I built the football strategy. This is where on the 21st, the same day as GA, the price broke that last high by at least 25 pips. Now we have a left shoulder. What's step two? Let's measure 25, 50. It has to be at least 30. In this case, it was 50, 75, 100. So what we did, I sent it to you, sell stop right here. And it makes a W. I mean, a double top. We got in the entry right here. The price had us in drawdown the whole day. And then the Asian session came and said, swoop. Now the price came back to our entry. And it did, watch this. It did create that right shoulder in this case. So this did respect the right shoulder because this is the left shoulder, this the right shoulder. So those of you who had the sell limit there, you won this one as well. Meanwhile, we got in this trade over here. And the price fell down 60 pips. That was our TP. Okay? So that's 2 times from last week. Those are the 2 trades that I saw and I gave to ChartFlix. Here are the 10 trades that I missed just because I didn't go and see it. G-Chef. and we will have a Q&A. I'll stop the recording. The price came up here. It dropped down. I wish they would just let y'all in and I ain't have to keep letting y'all in. It dropped down 25, 50, 75, 100, 125, 150. There's no left shoulder yet. Then the price makes a W, goes up. It reaches the last high. Once this high is broke by at least 25 pips, now we have a left shoulder. And this price makes a double top. We have a sell limit that would be right here for the left shoulder right entry. Guess what? We're wicked in right here. This is a GBP pair. So we're 50 pip stop loss. That's not even 50 pips, but we will be 50 pip stop loss. Oh my God, this is irritating. And then the price wicked up, and then you see what happened. The price fell down 25, 50, 75, 100 pips. Meanwhile, you with your traditional self, you are waiting for the right shoulder so you can sell it. Right here. Now, I don't like the right shoulder because it goes against the trend. The trend is going to probably come through and knock that thing away. And it does it all the time. So that's the third time that this happened last week. Let me show it to you on Euro GBP. Same thing over and over. I ain't making it up. Price goes here. Drops down 25, 50, 75 pips. We don't have a left shoulder yet. Keep that in mind. We get back to the same price. We don't have a head yet or shoulder. The price breaks by at least 25 pips. Now we have a left shoulder. It creates us a head. The sell limit is sell stop is placed here. And so we are wicked in. We go straight into profit here. Price goes straight down and measures the same left leg. The left shoulder. Now watch this, guys. The price has now reached the right shoulder as of Friday. Let me tell you what this is probably going to do. Those of you who had a sell limit, maybe it got activated. Maybe it got activated, maybe it didn't. If you went straight to the wick, it didn't activate. Now it's pulled down. So somebody has a sell limit. I guarantee, I can't make any guarantees. But there's a high probability there's going to be some type of W that's going to happen and it's going to blow past this thing. Okay? Because we've already had that massive drop. Look at this big sell that done happen. And then look at this big buy that has happened. This is a correction so they can continue. The bulls are in control now, not the sellers. The sellers have already been in control. But you get ready to try to sell this right shoulder. That's not going with the trend. And the trend is your friend. Okay? Boom. So that happened last week. Let's move. All right. CJ. Do y'all see the pattern? It's the same thing over and over. So this price made a high and it dropped at least 30 pips. So what happened was when the price came here, dropped at least 30 pips. We don't have a left shoulder yet. We don't have a head yet. Once the price reaches that last high and breaks it by at least 25 pips, are y'all noticing this double top and this pattern? Now, I'm on my fifth pair. I ain't changed up the strategy. The strategy doesn't happen 12 times. You would have won all 12 of these last week. Okay, where's our sell stop at? Right here on the right entry. Left shoulder, right entry. We're entered. The price drops straight down. Now, we would have went past this level because that's just 30 pips. We have to do at least 50 pips, right? It came down and measured this move right here. And now what it's getting ready to do, the bulls are gaining momentum. And I dare you to try to sell this right shoulder. I dare you. I dare you. The sale has already happened. That doesn't happen already. As the bulls build momentum and they get back to this little shoulder, the shoulder was only 30 pips anyway. It's going to blow right past it. Let's continue. CJ, same thing happened right here. Price Did that drop at least 30 pips? It did. So that qualifies for the left shoulder right entry. The price come up, pull down 30 pips. We don't have a left shoulder yet. The price gets back to that level and it breaks it by 25. Now we have a left shoulder. The price goes up, comes back down. We have a sell stop sitting right there. Guess what? We catch the move. Voila. Now, those of you who are wanting to sell from this level right here, don't do it. Don't do it. Let me tell you why. This is a W. Whenever you see a W and you see a big bullish move, get out the way. The bulls are getting ready to run you over. That's why the 30% of these head and shoulder patterns that don't work, number one, that left shoulder needs to be massive in order for me to take it anyway. But there are some traders that will call this a left shoulder. I do, but I ain't gonna try to sell it again. We're gonna bust straight through that. Okay, cool. All right, let's move because y'all think I'm making it up. I don't want you to think it. Let's go to UJ. Now here's another one. The price stopped here. It pulled. That was at least a 30 pip drop. I've already measured it. The price does not. It gets back to this level. It breaks it by 25 pips. Now we have a left shoulder. This is a head. Our sell stop is just below there. And it gets caught right here. And you already see what happened. Let's move. Now this one, I don't like this one, but it is what it is because the head is way far away from the shoulders. But I'm getting ready to show you that it's just data that we use. We don't use our emotions. If it's the data that's right, take the darn trade, Marcus. So it don't care. Look how big this head is. Okay, this is what I'm referring to. This was the last high right here before this big move happened. And you measure it, it dropped down 105 pips. Okay, so when it came up here, it dropped down and then the price broke it and it went way past the 25 pips that we need. But let's look and see what happened when it got back. Now, this is where our sell stop would have been, just below the line. That's where our sell stop would have been. So this is a big old head. But as that price came back to that zone, sell entered. We dropped down. We caught that same level of the move here. And in this case, the price did respect the right shoulder because you see it dropped down. So that was your left shoulder. Here was your right shoulder. Meanwhile, we caught the thrusting move that happened right here. Okay. So what we got? 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 more to go. Okay, YouTube and live audience, because I just want you to know that it worked. It worked. All right. So it happened on EuroCAD. These are all different pairs. The price came up here. It dropped down 25, 50, 70, almost 70 pips. Makes a W. We get back to the price. Then we break the high by at least 25 pips. This becomes a head. Our sell entry is right here. Hey, Gary, why do you keep coming in and out? I just wanted to ask you that real quick. I keep having to let you in and out. Like, stay put somewhere, Gary, please. You coming in and out. All right. So our entry happens right here, and we measure this move. It moved 70 pips. Look what happened. We caught the same identical move on that shoulder. Now, the sell limit that happened right here for the right shoulder, the traditional way, I'm praying for you if you're in this sell limit, because this was your left shoulder. This is your right shoulder. That drop and that drop, we're probably getting ready to go past this head right here. Okay. But we would have caught this entry and got the sell out the way. You see all these bulls that done pushed up? The trend is currently up. Trend is up. All right. So let's go to GN. And yep, GN did it. This was last week as well. This was your high, made a W. Are you noticing a pattern with the W on the left shoulder, how it takes a W on the way up? I don't know if you caught that yet, but it takes it back up. It comes to the entry. It breaks it by 50 pips this time. Now this becomes the left shoulder. Our sell stop is now here. This is our head, and it drops back down, takes our entry. We caught that trade right there. Meanwhile, y'all waiting on a shoulder up here. Now, this shoulder may work because it doesn't drop way away. And so this would be a 75 dive trade. I'm sure that is on Hakanashi candles. So the price comes back to this level. That is a good place to sell it because it had enough room to breathe and come back. But here again, we're talking about left shoulder right entry, not that other one, okay? Okay, cool, Jay. Thank you from Australia. Thank you so much for coming in. Thank you so much. You've been there since day one. Good to have you. Now let's look at gold. I used to then trade gold, guys, because gold don't respect my quarter points. And I'm a quarter theory trader. That's how the football strategy was birthed and born. Now I can trade gold because I know you can see what happened. The price came up, and we can count this wick, but we just gonna count this level here first because the wick is not really the price. That's just the exhaustion. Okay, that's the rejection. The price finally breaks it right here. Then this becomes a left shoulder. All of this becomes the head, and our sell limit is right here. Now, it's a possibility that we would have got wicked in on gold. We, in this case, would have to use a stop loss that goes above the head. So instead of trading 50 cents, $2 or whatever we trade, you would want to put this on 1 cent. But your stop loss with gold and US 30, which I'm going to show you next, you need to be able to go above the head because gold and US 30 are even more volatile than the GBP pairs. So in order for this strategy to work on gold and the indices, because it works on everything. It works on everything. It even works on the 1 minute time frame. And I'll show you that briefly here too as well. Our sell stop would have been here. We might have got wicked in depending on the spread. Our stop loss is here. We get a little pullback, and then that thrusting happens. Boom. We catch the same exact move. Meanwhile, the sell limit here would have been activated. So this is another head and shoulders pattern that did work. I'm not saying the head and shoulders pattern don't work, but what I am saying is it contradicts the number one rule of Forex, which is the trend is your friend. And there's a lot of violations that happen because the current trend of a right shoulder is bulls. Meanwhile, you with your traditional self are trying to sell the right shoulder when you should be looking for a buy at the bottom like Brandon, right? Cool. So that's gold. And that all of these trades, I'm telling you, I didn't have to scroll back. This all happened last week. All 12 of these trades happened last week. So if you had this strategy in your possession, you would have been 12 for 12. How you like that? 100%. 12 for 12. All right. Same thing happened here on the indices. And let me just show you what I see. The price stopped here, and it does pull down 135 pips. So what's the rule? That left shoulder needs to be at least what? A 30 pip pull down. And how many pips does the head need to be? At least 25. This is 74. That ain't 7. This is indices now. That's 75 pips. All right. So this is your left shoulder. This became your head. And if you knew this strategy, guess what? You could have sold indices at least down to this zone here. Your entry would have got in here. You would have came straight down here. And those of you who like indices, I just changed your life. You would have caught 250 pips, no problem. And you know how this thing move. And let me just show you this on indices real quick, because I'll show it to you again. What's a good example? Oh, there it is right there. Perfect. This was the high. It got broke right here. So now this is the left shoulder. This became the head. When it came back, voila. Guess what, guys? On indices, now your stop loss got to be up here. So you got to, if you're gonna play the game, you got to play the game. But if your win would have been to this move right here, you got at least 360 pips out of this, or 400, should I say? And that's on the indices. Now look, when it came back to the shoulder, what happened? That's the right shoulder. It pushed past it. Why? Because the current trend is up. That's why it did. That's why this one didn't work. Okay. So let me show you this. It's gonna blow your mind. I know you ain't gonna believe this, but I just showed you 12 opportunities that happened last week using this strategy. Okay. Now let me show you. We also trade binary over here. And it also works on the 1 minute time frame, because I took some live trades with live money in my binary account and I sent it to them, and I'm just going to show it to you. Am I in the right? No, I'm not in the right one. I'm sorry. I did all that strolling and I was in the wrong. I got so many telegrams that I'm a part of, but I'm going to show you right now. These are the 3 trades I took on the 1 minute time frame. Here's the first one. Let me change the volume here so you guys can hear a little bit of the commentary. And then after this, we'll be done and I'll open up for Q&A.
This one I'll leave y'all alone. This was a left shoulder right here. We broke it with the head, and then we come back to the price of the left shoulder. Okay, in 19 seconds, I'll be out of this trade. In 19 seconds, this will be my 3rd left shoulder right entry trade for the night. So we caught $96 on that trade. Here's another one. Left shoulder, head, right entry. If I can hold this for 27 seconds on crude oil, if we can hold it for, what's that, 19 more seconds. 19 more seconds, well, I'm sorry, 13 more seconds. Left shoulder, head, right entry. And just like that, left shoulder, right entry, wins again. That's another $38. So
last one.
There are no Forex pairs that I have a setup on right now, but this is the left shoulder, right entry. Left shoulder, we break the shoulder right here. It comes back up. This is the head, and then it meets the shoulder, and you sell it at the same level. Look how you sell it. The price is below the shoulder. I sold it above the shoulder. So if we can hold this price for 40 seconds, so I just got $25 out of it. Sell the shoulder price at the right ear, right? So I just won that trade. So I just got 25.
Okay, so guys, I want you to understand the psychology of this strategy. Those 3 trades that I just showed you were on the 1 minute time frame trading binary. Bro, this one strategy can be used on all pairs. I don't care if you're trading gold. I don't care if you're trading silver, if you're trading McDonald's, if you're trading crude oil. It does not matter. This strategy works on all time frames, on all instruments, on all symbols. So if you've watched this whole YouTube video and you are already a trader, what should have happened to your trading, your level, your IQ should be on a different stratosphere. And this is the kind of stuff that people don't tell people. This is the kind of stuff that the rich people would never share on a free class on a Sunday night. He would never share something like this on YouTube because it evens the playing field. Just before I showed you all of this, just before I showed you those 3 videos, that's 3 trades in binary. It happened all the time, no? I just showed you 12 times last week that this strategy worked and not one of the trades lost. This trade would have worked 100% of the time. So again, if you're watching this video, congratulations. If you can understand this video, congratulations. And below in the description of this video, I'm going to give you my Telegram and my website, the ChartFlix.net, because I want to be your mentor. Because there's so many other things about the market that I feel that have been held secret for people to keep trying to struggle. But I feel like I have a cheat code and I'm telling Lada Dottie everybody. So with that being said, the video has been going for an hour. So I'm going to stop it for the video, but I'm going to do a Q&A with the live class. I currently have about 30 people who are live. I'm going to stop the video here. But if you like what you saw, what I want you to do is join my free Telegram group, go to ChartFlix.net, and let's connect so I can show you even more of what it is we have going on. Okay, so thank you so much for watching this video, and I hope you've enjoyed the information.